Just when you thought it was safe to go back to the movie theaters. Did that happen over Ishtar? No, I don't think I'll ever be over Ishtar. Is it time that we revisit Ishtar? No, no, it's not time that we revisit Ishtar. Folks, ladles and jelly spoons, and those who are out of the utensil category nomenclature department. Stick it up your old wazoo one more time with me. Wow. Jonaside says, so today is Brandon Lee's death day 30 years ago, and not knowing that, I watched The Crow last night. Hmm. Astara, let's call the whole thing off. But not before Community leaves Netflix. Scar, listen. Is there something SSP, TTT, this whole secret space program, time travel technology thing? Is there something to it? Or boy, did we just blew it? I just blew myself. Listen, well, at least we know the lasers from outer space won't get us. It was an inside job. That's what she said. Maybe that was a little off color. Is this thing on? I hope so. Why should I be the only one suffering? On that note, April 8th is going to be some sort of solar solstice. In anticipation of said event, David Wilcock made a live stream. He's made several since. He made one today. Oh, shit. $75 at some costume shop off Hollywood Boulevard. Looks like someone paid retail. Listen, honey. After 6. Yo, West New York, New Jersey. Get the fuck out. Worked there many years. Many years after I acquired this jacket that was probably made many years before my birth. I had an estranged family member Get into the personal business here. Yeah, I'll tell you what's up. I have I have a cousin, first cousin, fired my ass. I don't blame him one bit. I don't blame him one bit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't blame him one bit. He had a you know what I mean? This is unrelated. He had a black tie wedding. Like a tuxedo, it wasn't just it was a tuxedo wedding. I'm sure it was his wife, you know, it was the old lady, right? But whatever. But of course, I'm the son of a bitch who shows up in this fucking velvet nightmare. You know what I mean? Well, listen, I wasn't the worst offender that night. My dad danced. Okay. But anywho, I don't think the firing was related, though I'm sure. Listen, we knew each other. He knew me since I was born. He was an older cousin. I'm sure that the resentments were born much earlier than that. But listen, that's a trip down memory lane. Anywho, no regret. Listen, check out the hashtags. I got no enemies, and I don't celebrate. You know what I mean? One party wins, one party loses. And what's a win, what's a loss? It's just, you know, let me tell you, as a lawyer, as a licensed attorney, and I don't put on airs, I don't give a damn. I'm a licensed attorney. Tell me I'm a licensed ditch digger. Tell me I'm a licensed, you know, kielbasi salesman. It's just something I do. I just work here. And I do not hate, I have no animosity towards the dude that sued me. I do not. And it's not easy. It's not been easy to get to this place, but you know, that's not a front, that's not a media put on, that's not a show, that's not me trying to play some sort of game. When I point out that it's ridiculous to say Zen ends, ass kicking begins when Zen ends, and I point out all the things that's ridiculous about saying that, I'm trying to communicate to my brother, even if you don't believe in God, even if you just think that we're just Homo sapiens sapiens, then we are part of the family of humanity. And any failure to recognize that we're brothers on planet Earth and brothers as living human beings, and as, you know, then we're, you know, brothers as humans, brothers as bipedal apes, brothers as living things, brothers as mammals, brothers as living things, brothers, you know what I mean? If your Zen ends, then you've got something happen. And we, you know what I mean? Like, the agenda is get your Zen back, baby. You know what I mean? You don't want to lose your Zen. And yeah, Zen ends when ass kicking begins. That means that if the ass kicking is started, fighting has broken out. And the reason that we quest for Zen is because the enlightened human beings, and if there's anyone else out there above us that has higher stages, some people call it fourth density, some people call it fifth dimensional thing, whatever you want to characterize it as. Generally speaking, when we think of people that think of higher vibrational thinking and higher vibrational entities, we usually think of those beings and entities as having a perspective and point of view predicated upon less ass kicking, less fighting, and more, you know, kumbaya, peace be upon you. I forgive you for your transgressions. I hope you forgive me. And if we've got some sort of fight or difficulty, you know, let's talk it out and, you know, not sue each other. But I don't know. Maybe I'm all fucked up about it. Or maybe I'm the bad guy. I'm not out here calling anybody else the bad guy because I don't think that we need to be calling anybody the bad guys. It's just the confused people. Allegedly. And what do I know? I'm not perfect. There are a lot of people that are going to report and have a tendency to report things incorrectly about Michigas lawsuits that they filed or Michigas reports that are not by experts and don't say the things that they say. Me, on the other hand, I keep things really simple. So people have wondered about things for a long, long time. So here's a very, very simple life update. When Corey Good sued a whole bunch of people and he sued me, in response to that lawsuit, people were able to do and respond in several different ways. And my way of responding was, and it had to go through a couple of steps. I'm not going to bore you, and I don't want to complicate things by creating confusion. Was very simply and simplifying it to make a motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction. He sued me in Colorado. Now, why did he sue me in Colorado? I have a theory. Many other people have theories about why he sued me in Colorado. It doesn't matter. He sued me in Colorado. What's jurisdiction? It doesn't really matter. All that really matters is that I had an argument about him suing me in Colorado, being that, hey, there's no jurisdiction against me in Colorado. I've never been to Colorado. I've never done any business in Colorado. It's an inconvenience to sue me in Colorado. There's no reason to sue me in Colorado. Don't sue me in Colorado. Colorado courts, I shouldn't be sued in Colorado. Dismiss this case against me in Colorado because I shouldn't be sued in Colorado. That's the argument. And that was my motion. And that motion was filed approximately 36 months ago. You can do the math. Talk about time travel. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone who fits nowhere outside of those categories. Finally, on Friday, I was at a concert. So I put my phone on Do Not Disturb because I don't want to disturb the bands or whatever. So late at night, when Friday had already turned into Saturday, I put my phone back off, Do Not Disturb. And the first thing that I saw was a text from an erstwhile friend who's been following these things and these machinations and these ups and downs and these court proceedings, these 36 months going, who said, yeah, finally, boom, your case has been dismissed. Holy shit, fuck, what? Went to my email and saw the confirming email from my attorney. Now, what does that mean? The case was dismissed against me without prejudice. What does that mean? It means it was dismissed against me for what we argued. It was dismissed against me in Colorado. Corey Good has said he's going to sue me, blah, blah, blah. He wants to sue me in New Jersey. He can sue me in New Jersey. And whatever happens with that, go for it, bro. Remember, I said, you want to sue me? Sue me. And I said all that stuff not knowing that there was this crazy rule in Colorado saying that, hey, if you're an attorney from wherever the fuck you want to sue in Colorado, go for it. But he can't sue me in Colorado. He wants to swear he can sue me. He wants to sue me in New Jersey. Wants to come to my home jurisdiction to do. I don't advise that. But what I'm trying to communicate to you is this: is that understand this. It is what it is. After 36 months, the question that was posed to the Colorado courts 36 months ago, hey, dude, I'm from New Jersey. I've never been to Colorado. I've never done shit in Colorado. All I did was talk about what this guy did on YouTube. And this guy wants to say that because of that, he should be allowed to sue me in Colorado. What's up with that? It took Colorado 36 months to get to that question and answer it in like a 5-page response. What? I don't know what's going on with Colorado. I'm not trying to judge the judges or the system. It is what it is. I don't know what it's like to be a federal judge in Colorado. I don't know what their workload is. I don't know what's going on. But what I'm trying to express to you is this. The reality of litigation is the reality of litigation. And all I can do as a human being is breathe in, breathe out, and deal with life. You get sued, you get a diagnosis, you come out to your car and your car's got 4 flat tires. It's like that song by Billy Madison, Don't Worry, Be Happy. Billy Ocean. I don't know. The hell's guy? Bobby McFerrin. Landlord says the rent is late. He might have to litigate. Don't worry, be happy. It's easier said than done. But I maintain an attitude of gratitude. I am not in Gaza having shit bombed on. You know what I mean? Like, there are places that are worse than where I'm at. But I just want to tell people that it's just, when this whole thing happened, people were like, countersue him, do this, do that. It's easy to throw out ideas and solutions and do this and do that, and then this is going to happen. And well, I'll tell you this. The unpaid bills that I've paid. And when I got the email, the confirming email, the email, my attorney says, now we can make the motion for the attorney's fees. And I said, yeah, make the motion for attorney's fees, knowing full well as an attorney, that motion for attorney's fees, guess what? That's going to cost more attorney fees. And then you win the motion for attorney's fees, then you got to collect the attorney's fees. And guess what? The day after I got my motion was answered on a Friday. A lot of the cases against some other people had other actions. I'm not going to talk about those cases because, look, and I'm going to keep it really simple because everybody wants updates and everybody wants you to talk about this, that, and the other thing. But talking about shit is not necessarily good for me. It may be exciting for the popcorn choppers and everyone who wants to be like, do whatever, but it's not necessarily good for me. So it is what it is, and I'll just use what I can use to make a point. It is what it is. I mean, is it congratulations? Yeah, I mean, it's good. I mean, it's better than having the motion denied, but it's still just what it is. And it is what it is. Natasha Nix is here. Hello to Natasha Nix. Enjoy the win and chill. Yeah. Hey, listen, believe you me. I'm not looking to, be negative about it, but I just want to say it, it is what it is. And to let people know and understand that there's no winning in this sinning called litigation. That's part of the problem, because my heart goes out to the other person, because even if you win on reverse of the attorney's fees, that means the other guy's got to pay the attorney's fees. And like I said, I've got no hatred towards the other party. None at all. Though it has been alleged about me that I was out to destroy somebody and I was out to destroy their business and I was out to do this, that, and the other thing, I deny those allegations. I say those allegations are misunderstandings of me. I can understand why someone would be upset about what I said about them. I can understand the feeling of being upset. I have been upset at times about people who have stopped me or tried to stop me from doing things that I wanted to do. Don't fuck with me now. I'm getting high. Right? All I ever did was saw people doing things. Someone would make a public statement on YouTube. This Jack's getting hot. I'm going to do this shit. They would make a public statement on YouTube, on their website, on Facebook, in a public forum, somewhere, or, something, or some discernible piece of it. I never doctored anything. And we would look at it and we would go through it. And I would say, here's why I think the notion that this is really information coming from a transdimensional intergalactic source or some other information from some sort of secret space program insider or someone talking to extraterrestrials, why I think that is nonsense and why I think it's more likely that this is just something that's being made up by somebody. And when that person would make statements that were directed at, me personally, or why when I thought that that person was making statements that were directed at me, surreptitiously, I would analyze those statements in the exact same way. People know what the heck happened. And this individual's attitude was, F you. I'm allowed to say whatever I want to say, and anyone who says anything about me, anyone who analyzes the things I say, is doing something illegal that's involved in some sort of criminal conspiracy. That's fucking bullshit. And then they sued, and I thought it was the craziest thing to do. And now, look, it is what it is. But it is what it is. And I'm fine. Life is a series of choices, actions, and reactions. We do things and things happen. We question some things, we regret some things, but at the end of the day, every single thing that happened since 2015 to now on YouTube and in response to this or whatever got me to this point in my life. And y'all see me. Not every step along the way have been happy, joyous, and free, or I've been like, happy boombastic about things, or I've acted like this is great, or I think that this is fantastic. But this is exactly where I need to be. And if we try to pull apart the but-for causations that got everything to here, I don't know which thing I would have done differently wouldn't that couldn't have thrown the whole thing out of order. Whether it's just a way of looking at things to say everything happens for a reason, and but for the tragedies, the travails, the lessons, and the things we endured, we wouldn't have been able to get to here, get to this realization, get to the understanding. Whether that's just a way of looking at things or whether that's just the reality of the way that it is, I'm okay. And I'm this side of the dirt, and I'm grateful. And I've had 1,003 daydreams and fantasies where me and the other guy and David Wilcock are hanging out, right? 30 grand richer because we didn't have these this guy doesn't have to pay the attorney's fees and I don't have to pay the attorney's fees. And, me and all of us started talking and getting along and hanging out. And I was able to say, yo, David Wilcock, don't invest in that company because it's going to cost you your ass. But whether it could have happened differently or I could have done that or we could have done that or if I was a little less aggressive or this, we'll never know. If there's other timelines out there, those timelines have their sovereignty and those timelines are their timelines. And this is our timeline. And in our timeline, it took 36 months to get to here. And here is the motion, the lawsuit filed against me in Colorado has been dismissed for lack of jurisdiction. Without prejudice means that he can file again against me. Though, of course, I've got now the lawsuits, the RICO charges against other parties have been dismissed, and the judge has made all these arguments regarding those things. So now, if he wants to bring those charges against me, well, again, like I said, the wisdom says I should stay silent about other things. But we've had 36 months of watching deposition testimonies where people have gone ahead and said things under oath and then gone ahead and said that the things that they said under oath were not true. And I just want to point out that while this individual said the worst things about me and said and threatened that he's going to come after me, if this case is dismissed, he's going to come after me over here, I just want to say, I have never told my lawyer, I've never sent my lawyer an email, I've never called up my lawyer and said, yo, this guy lied under oath. And why didn't I do that? Because despite the fact that this guy said the most horrible things about me when he knew I was getting divorced and he knew the question of me having kids and custody of my kids was an issue, I didn't say those things about him. I didn't do that shit about him because what? Because I knew eventually the case against me was going to get dismissed because there was no jurisdiction against me in Colorado. And I knew that he's got kids. And I knew for the guy that was supposed to be out to destroy this guy and kill him and destroy his finances or whatever, I knew that this guy was up against the wall. This guy's clock was ticking. And this guy was having a hard time. So I didn't narc on him. Because I'm such a son of a bitch. Because I'm such a bastard. Are we the bad guys? I ain't the bad guy. I ain't a perfect guy. But Broseph, I'm no bully. And I'm no bad guy. You got the wrong guy when you came after me. And maybe, just maybe, well, I don't know why shit doesn't work out sometimes. I could have told you that shit never works out when you sue people. I just, you know what I mean? That's why, like, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, being a lawyer is like a crazy thing. I tell people all the time, like, when people are like, oh, we're going to sue over this, we're going to sue over that. I'm like, yeah, well, you know, mediation, accommodation, and compromise is always the greater thing to do. That's why, like, I have a hard time making money as an attorney because it's like, you know what I mean? My attitude is always like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like, you want to like go nuts to kill. But here's the thing: like, look at Donald Trump, look at Rudy Giuliani. You know what I mean? There's 1,003 ways. You know what I mean? To be having a good game, to be having a good thing going, and to just, you know, fuck it up. I try not to do that. I try not to do that. And I think like one of the greatest ways to like not fuck things up is to like not fight with people. And that's people like see never change. Like you think it's like you not fight with people. I've always said like I'm not trying to fight with you. Like I just say like you say this stuff, you're allowed to analyze it and talk about it. That's what I always said. Like I never came after people and accused them of like so I said like you say these things, blah 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 blah. And here's the other thing: like people say things like that doesn't make sense or whatever, whatever. You know what I mean? Like there are no 36 levels of security above the President of the United States of America. There's not. Okay, you can read the U.S. Constitution. Okay, the President of the United States is the President of the United States. That's it. Okay, he's the head of of all the branches of the military. That's how it works. Okay, there's no one above the president. Okay, and so I reading David Wilcock's, you know, the Synchronicity Key from 2013 has been enlightening because you could see that, like, you know, he's saying things about, like, you know, still talking about, like, the alliance. And then I saw his video from today and he's talking about the alliance, but people are saying the alliance failed. It's like a movable feast. But hey, what are you going to do? So what can I tell you? What's the major life update? On Good Friday, I got the good news that the case against me was dismissed after 36 months. And the bills that have been paid, I paid out of my pocket. But guess what? You know what I'm saying? All I could say was, hey, man, you know what I mean? Like, we all pay bills. Like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I say, like, you know, if I stay on YouTube, if I keep my page, you can join my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. The link is in the description box below. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like if I keep the Patreon going, like after a while, even though it's demonetized on YouTube, if I get more subscribers on this channel too, like eventually, like if I get monetized, I don't know, like what, like eventually, I'll break even. You know what I'm saying? And here's the deal. Also, like this, check this out. I stopped drinking on everything happens for a reason, yo. Post rehab, you know what I mean? Things go up, things go down. Post rehab, when I finally graduated to like, hey, guess what? You know those outpatient programs that you've been dancing around with? Ah, oh, you know, no, listen, you know what I mean? You made a lot of deals with your family, you know what I mean? Now you're going inpatient. Oh, it's great. That I know, and I'll always remember when Jiggy passed away because the day 210, February 10th, 2022, right? I was already had this remote control breathalyzer that shot the results out to my wife. And I thought I had this system. I was rocking the system where I was like, well, if I like have this many beers before this o'clock, and then by the time I do this, I push it off and do this. And I was like always doing these like calculations with the websites, be like how long it takes the blood alcohol level to get to zero, whatever. But anyway, on February 10th, 2022, of course, little becomes a little bit more, little becomes a little bit more. I blew my calculations. And I blew the breathalyzer. So I'm dealing with talking to her on the phone. She's upset. She's pissed off. And I'm like, fuck. So she's on her way over to my place to kick my ass. And I'm like, fuck. And then I turn on YouTube and I'm like, shit. I'm like, whatever. I'm just like there. And I see Paranormal Hood live and they're talking. It doesn't make sense because the thing is like the title of the video is acting like there's something, and I know that it's saying that Jiggy's passed, even though it's like saying like we got something to say to you or whatever, and it just doesn't make sense because they were showing a video with like I think they were showing a video of Jiggy there. It was just nuts. And the night before, the night that I had gotten drunk again, right, whatever, was the night that I guess Jiggy was, had passed. But whatever. But then it was until 12/21/23 that I also had to put down the weed because I was also, people can do it. I can't do it. Whatever. But the money that I was spending on alcohol and weed, I'm telling you, if I just stay sober, I'm going to recoup. Well, I'm going to recoup on a lot of things because I won't pay for the rehab again. You got to blow them. Like you can't take it with you. I mean, money's money. Money comes in and comes out. Like people don't realize. Like they've done. Like a homeless person on the streets in Bricktown, wherever, over the course of 10 years, 15 years living on the streets, is going to barter and tender $1 million plus in transactions. Plus, they're going to, everyone in their lifetime is going to see millions of dollars. You're just not going to see it all at once. So you see the money, the cost or whatever, you get fucked up about it, but you know what I mean? Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And if it doesn't happen to you, it's going to happen to the other guy. And all I ever wanted to have happen to the other guy was for the other guy to realize long ago, man, you can't be out here lying to people. Don't be out here thinking that you're just going to lie to people and things are going to work out. And it's going to be okay to lie to people. or take advantage of this fucking sad sack who believes fucking anything. Yeah, I said it. This guy David Wilcock believes fucking this in my personal opinion. David Wilcock, is this like huge, gigantic, emotional heart. I think at on saying the best things about him, and he's just really susceptible to believing anything. Personally, I don't know how you can believe a guy like Pete Peterson or a guy like Corey Good or a guy like Emery Smith. But we know that David Wilcock believed those guys. I don't know how you could do it. And I'm not saying that those guys are like terrible human beings, because I'm not trying to call people terrible human beings. I'm trying to call people human beings, and human beings do things. I'm not saying I never lied. I'm not saying I don't have narcissistic tendencies. I'm not saying I didn't cheat on my wife. I'm not saying I didn't, I've never, I've never done dirty. But I am trying to say I try to improve every day and try and stop that shit. And I try and forgive the people who did dirty to me. And I could try and say I can stand by my record. I could say, yo, I had opportunities to narc out on people and say, yo, this guy lied under oath. I haven't done it yet. You know what I mean? And people have really fucked around on me, and I still haven't gone on them, because unlike them, you know what I mean? I take the fact that they got kids and maybe really fucked up about shit and fucked up and have like, less opportunities than I have, and less opportunities in life, and less, no offense, brain power than I have. And they like really take it to heart and really honestly hope, like, just fucking listen to me. I made the call a long time ago. You're not going to win at this game. You can't win at lying. There's no, karma's real. You cannot win at lying. And if you lied under oath to say that if you told the truth under oath, then they would call you crazy, then you still lied under oath, and you still lied. And lying under oath is against the law because it's a sacred institution, the courts. It's in the Bible you don't lie. It's in the Quran that you don't lie under oath. It's in the Bhagavad Gita that you don't lie. It's in the laws of Mondo, which is the first recorded, book of rules. It's in the law friggin' one, to the best of my understanding, that you don't lie. It's in Scientology. Don't fuck up the comm lines. You don't lie. For any reason. If you told the truth and they're going to call you crazy, then you get called crazy. But I forgive you. But you gotta do what you gotta do. We're making the motion to get the attorney's fees, and everyone else is gonna make the motion to get attorney's fees. And it is what it is, man. But I still love you, even if you think that I hate you. But it is what it is. And I'll pray for you. And I'll pray for everyone else. I pray for Cliff High. You know what I mean? I got really upset at Cliff High when he went and, started saying all this racist stuff. But he's saying all this racist stuff to the best of my understanding and knowledge and ability to comprehend, because there's something going on. If someone's not making sense, they're not making sense. And if a brain is producing not making sense, then the brain is not making sense. You know what I mean? What are you going to do? But it is what it is. I'll go to the top of the live chat. 76 people watching me live. You know what I mean? The elephant in the room. First to join us. How you doing, elephant in the room? Hello. Happy Ishtar. We did the bit. Jonah Side joining us as well. Token Study. Jilly Beans. I didn't realize, so we can look up the date. So I looked up the 29th of March. We want to be careful not do the whole Wikipedia entry day, but I'll tell you there's interesting things about March 29th. We'll do the date. Let me just shoot through and say hi to people too, and then we'll figure out the dates, and I'll bore the shit out of you and watch that 78 people watching me live turn into 3 people watching me live. The new trailer, the new Crow trailer dropped. Of course, they're on the 30-year nostalgia loop. Again, we're finally making it to the 90s. You know, we'll see how that plays out. So Jonaside says, yeah, Mario Heat. It looks like John Wick in makeup with. It looks up like John Wick in makeup with Jared Leto Joker tats. I'm fixing the comment. Speaking of John Wick came out in 2014, 10 years ago, the weakest of loops. When my one daughter was 4 or 5 years old, for whatever reason, she learned about John Wick and was always asking me and my wife about if she could see John Wick. And of course we were like, no, you're 4 years old, you're 5 years old, we can't let you watch John Wick. John Wick. All the kid wanted to see. Like when we say that she was 4 or 5 years old, she was 4 or 5 years old. I have no idea. We've been through John Wick 1, 2, 3, 4. I've never seen a John Wick movie, though I know what it's about, right? Finally today, she's like, ooh, John Wick's on. Can we see John Wick? And we're like, now she's going to be 13 in like 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. We're like, yeah, why not, right? And it's just a bit of a slow start. My understanding of John Wick is that it's 20 minutes of a little bit of an emotional backstory. They kill a puppy, and then he turns into Charles Bronson, Murder for Hire, right? It's 20 minutes of intro, and then it's just nonstop video game, hardcore Henry bloodshed. The child gives the movie about 10 or 11 minutes. She watches him say goodbye to his dead wife. She watches him get the puppy. She watches him pull up and get gas. He goes to the airfield and she turns off the movie. She's done. She's not. And I said to her, look, listen. It's my understanding that these guys he just talked to at the gas station, he's going to run into again. He's going to kill them. I think we need to give him, if we give the guy about 5 to 6 minutes, they're going to kill the puppy. I warned her. She's not into, she's like, you could do anything you want to any human being in a movie, slice them and dice them this way, that way, the other thing. Doesn't matter. Man, woman, or child, do whatever you want to. If you kill an animal, when we put on National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation for the first time, but failed to warn her about the cat getting electrocuted, she nearly walked out on the family. She called my ex-wife shit woman. She accused us of ruining Christmas. She got irate. So I told her, I said, look, it's my understanding that they get him back into the life by something happens to the puppy. I don't know what it is, but I warned her about that. That wasn't, she's like, well, we'll just whatever. She can't deal with it. Because she would know she saw it coming. But we didn't even get to that part. The minute he got they had to pull like a turn in front of the I don't know, something happened at the airport. They didn't even get to shots fired once. She turned off the movie. And then she watched a movie from 1956 called The Opposite Sex. I was like, I don't know what's the deal with this kid. She wouldn't give John Wick enough time to get to the killing, but she watched The Opposite Sex from 1956, like a melodrama about divorcees. She watched that from start to finish. Kids, what are you going to do? Anyone, non sequitur. But I managed to hold on for 79 viewers for that one. I have no idea what's going on. There you go. We say hello to Omar Karana. Long time no see. Everybody, my Patreon is $1 a month. I understand there's some people that have excuses, but for everyone who doesn't have an excuse, join the goddamn Patreon. Would you? I'm done effing around. Pragmagic. Happy Easter with Eflin for you. Jordan, we say hello to Jordan. Oh my God, here's Pragmatic saying Jonaside literally tried to show Mary, the significant other, the Lee graves today and had no idea it was Brandon's death anniversary. That is crazy. There we go. It's finally over. It's never over. Because remember, we have to make the motion for attorney's fees. That includes getting more attorney's fees. And then even after that, the guy's like, nothing is ever over until people finally give up. But you know what I mean? It could be. I'll tell you when it's over, it's over. It's my understanding we're going to reach out and be like, you going to make us this motion or you going to just pay us the bills? We'll see. We'll see. People want to be reasonable. I'll certainly allow them to be reasonable. There you go. Here we go. A victory is a victory, though. CW, congrats. Gold prospector judges, eight of the blue avian variety. There you go. Natasha Nix. Yeah, it's a long time since you've been around. It's far too long. Far too long. But it's good to see you. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is what it is. You should be able to recoup the erroneous legal fees. I hope. Yeah, we hope. Listen, it is what it is. I mean, look, mad respect for suffering through the legal goof juice to speak your mind and criticize the con. Hey, it is what it is. There you go. Natasha Nix. Hi, I'm from the future. By the way, I'm broke. Hey, listen. What you want to do is, hey, Natasha, have I told you about the benefits of time travel? Find yourself in the future and broke? Not a problem. Pay nothing now. If you're not completely satisfied with the fact that you had money yesterdays ago, then pay us nothing then. We'll see you on Easy Street. Some may call it denial. Fuck those guys. Believe you me. Tomorrow is promised to no one, but yesterday is guaranteed to all. Don't believe me? You were there. I'm telling you, you can't lose. All we are is dust in the wind, dude. Wrong reference, but you get the point. Chili Beans. If he's smart, he will just stop and move on in life. You see, the problem there is, oh, come on, I'm kidding. That's a joke. We got to set our intentions, right? And say the obvious. Well, you know what? He is smart. Being the fact that he is smart, I guess he will just stop and move on in life. So our problems are solved, right? There you go. Hey, listen, I may see something in the live chat that I don't highlight because I don't want to emphasize any potential lowlights. We hope for the best for everybody. Here we go. Chili Beans. Yes, everything does happen exactly how it's supposed to. What did I? What did I? What did I do to deserve this? Oh, yeah. Hey, listen. There you go. I'm going to talk to you now. I'm going to talk to you about talk to you privately about an upcoming project. Please do. Absolutely. Hey, there you go. No, I hear you. I hear you. Believe you me. And folks, listen. I may, in an attempt to try and put things in perspective, it may seem like I'm not appreciative of things, but I just really want people to understand that I want to make sure that a couple of things. I'm number one. I'm trying to let people know um, just how complicated life can be. I don't want people to think that anything is ever, and I just also want people to know that I don't celebrate anything going bad for anybody else. I'm glad that the case is dismissed against me, but I'm not happy that the other side is disappointed. I really do feel compassion for this son of a bitch. There's no doubt in my mind that it takes a lot of stuff to get here. Okay. Um, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? And the guy's got to eat a shit sandwich now, and it's just going to be problematic. You know what I mean? And I wrote, I also don't want to poke a beast. I don't want it to gloat or in any way, seem like, elated, because I don't want it, because I feel as though, in certain ways, people may have felt the need to, you know, um, like the coming after me in New Jersey. I mean, that's gonna be a suicide death trip. I'm telling you. I mean, if the guy comes after me in New Jersey, the countersuit is just gonna be an annihilation machine. I mean, this is my home fucking territory. I mean, that's like Napoleon coming into Russia. I mean, the guy is gonna be. I mean, it's never gonna fucking stop. I mean, it's gonna be problematic. You know, but I don't want it to be. I just want everybody to just fucking chill the fuck out and not fucking waste their fucking money. You know what I mean? Just go back and talk shit on the fucking internet like fucking adults. Right? This was the stupidest move in the world. I cannot believe that he fucking did it. When I fucking tell you that the fucking mistake that I made, the biggest mistake that I made was not talking shit on the internet, was not being like, oh, I have better things to do, blah, 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 was just underestimating the fact that this guy would be dumb enough to take this. I mean, the guy could have just gone about his fucking business, and if he hadn't have done these depositions never would have happened, right? He could have just gone and kept on doing the thing. Right? Look at David Wilcox's attitude of like not talking back to other people and not like, really responding to other people for so long. You know what I mean? The other guy with the glasses that, I got a problem with, I don't even have a problem with him anymore. I don't give a shit. But he started to try and make Ismael Perez like a new, like, they was going to talk about Ismael Perez like we used to talk about Corey Good. Ismael Perez never fucking responded. Ismael Perez just kept on going. And it's the classic thing. Don't feed the trolls. If people talk shit about you, but you don't talk shit back, what ends up happening? With no fucking volley for serve, with no fucking response, with no fucking feedback, it just fucking stops. It's only when the people fucking respond back. It's only when people try and do fucking COINTELPRO response campaigns or fucking dox people or fucking come back or fight back or say shit or say that, the people that are talking shit about me are fucking PDF file, cult, blood libel, Jew bastard, child sacrifice, Pizzagate weirdos. That a fight breaks out and people start talking, drama on the internet, drama llama bullshit, popcorn crap bullshit. To the best of my understanding. I mean, I could be totally effing wrong, but it is what it is. What are you going to do? You keep on rocking and rolling. Like I said, for the most part, I've just gone back to being like, whatever, dude. And don't forget about the aliens, right? People are trying to incorporate David Grush. And then what happened with that? David Grush was around for 3 seconds. And then this Arrow report came out. And the Arrow report was like, look, we looked into everything. Majestic 12. No. It's the same 3 people talking to each other over and over again. There's nothing here. And then you have, David, whatever. I forget what the guy's name is. The curly-haired attorney being like, I talked to them. They denied it. No, you talked to them. They talked about people that talked to them. You had third hand. Circumstantial, hearsay, evidence. You told them about photos that you couldn't even produce, but I told them where they were. They were with the Jesuits. The Jesuits? What the hell were the photos doing with the Jesuits? You got nothing. The report's out. Again, disclosure. You want disclosure happened. Disclosure happened at the beginning of March. They made a definitive report. People get accepted? No. But nothing happens. Now we got to the John Wick movies. There you go. Was it a good movie from 1956? It was a great movie from 1956. I wasn't really that crazy about the message about it. It seemed to be like generally like, if the guy cheats on you and remarries, be a classy broad and just, go with it. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was interesting. The fashion was fantastic. Sports betting like Back to the Future? No. Betting has nothing to do with it. Kilendall, we say hello to Kilendall. Jesus J, we say hello to Jesus J. CW, sitting silent through and during deposition must have been murder. I wasn't even there. I mean, I wasn't there. I was just, you know what I mean? I watched it third hand like everybody else. I was just like, oh my God, you don't want to do that. But this is a person, look, folks, if you're dealing with an individual who doesn't know and understand, by 2022 or whatever, when the hell that shit went down, that if there was a way to do, I'm going to say this thing under oath, but then I'm going to say that I said what I said under oath was wrong in the public, and that's something that you can do and get away with. If you don't know and understand that was something that could be done, that people would have done that before you, that you couldn't possibly be the first dude to think of that, or that would somehow work out okay. That's a crazy level of, but when I saw that happen, I was like, I'm not trying to make a desperate person's life worse. That's the thing. I have no problem telling the world, guess what, folks? This guy said immense amount of shit about me. But guess what? I wasn't that crazy worried about that because I knew that, guess what? Hey, guess what, folks? Hey, I'm CW Chanter. And before I became CW Chanter, I was Benjamin Isaac Vodnik, right? Jew attorney, half Jew, half Puerto Rican attorney, drug addict and alcoholic, friend of the devil, right? Friend of the woman of shame. You don't think I haven't had my life threatened? People talk shit about me. People saying the slander in my name. People doing this, that, and the other thing. People ripping me off. People like, you know what I mean, doing this, that, other thing to me, saying, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So I'm a product of a life well lived. People know about my childhood trauma. You know what I mean? Like, the shit that I've listened, I'm okay. And I'm proud of my forgiving nature. You want to call me weak? You want to call me you want to call me what you think is an insult, what I know and recognize as a compliment, call me a pussy? You want to misunderstand me? It's a well-worn expression around here. We call that Tuesday. You cost me some bills? Guess what? I'm going to make more money tomorrow. You cost me some bills? Guess what? I'm me, you're you. And there ain't no amount of money that would make me want to trade places with you. You get 500,000 fake views All those views are bot views. Well, I don't know, 500,000 views lying about something, and I get 50 views telling the people the reality of my regular old ideas. Then I'm proud because in a world of people making up crazy, outrageous, outlandish things, I managed to make 50 views. We're just normal every day. I didn't get this information from no angel. No one came down. I spent time in this cult, that cult, this crazy religion, that crazy religion, and then thought about it, cobbled these thoughts and ideas together. And I make no claim to the brain that I have in my head because I didn't make it. If I'm smart, that's nothing I should be proud of because I didn't make me smart. At some point in time, my dad had sex with my mom, jizzed in her vagina, the genetics mixed, and then the DNA recombined, and you know what I mean? Then I popped out of her crotch after 9 months, and I was me. And my brain is my brain. If I'm smart, then I guess that's. And I had certain opportunities because of where I was from. They gave me a certain amount of education, but I had a certain amount of trauma because of the people that were around me too. So I had to deal with that shit. You know what I mean? And I am proud of some things, but nature and nurture, and there's people that have debates about free will, and I don't know what the fuck the answer is. I'm more grateful than proud. I consider myself lucky at certain points in my life before I came onto YouTube or when I was contemplating coming on YouTube. I had thoughts and ideas about coming up with these malarkey bullshit stories, but I thought that's what you had to do. But then I was realized like, no, that's probably fucked up. You don't want to do that. And I'm grateful I didn't. I'm sorry for the people that did. Because once you start lying, you just have to keep on lying, I guess. And if you're a bad writer and you can't come up with a narrative or a story, then you're a bad writer and you can't come up with a narrative or a story. And you may want to be a great musician. You may want to be a rock star like the heroes that you grew up listening to and loved. You know what I mean? But if you suck, you suck. Like part of the reason that I'm like this, like check this out. I'll be totally straight up with you. Like David Wilcock is like David Wilcock without a doubt can do he's like I can play the solo to this song by Fleetwood Mac. And he's like this solo from this song is complicated and I can play it. And I'm like, I do like ambient drone music and shit. You know what I mean? The whole much. Right? He does he can play the solo to Moon Shadow or something. Like part of the reason that I don't do that shit, right? And do this shit do experimental drone like Williamsburg stuff in the back alley with my girlfriend Cassio Tone. Break out the 4-track Nirvana laid back. Come on, baby. Where's your beatbox salutation to Nirvana? It's because I can't play, right? You know what I mean? When people were like practicing and shit and being like, I want to learn how to play the guitar, I was getting high and shit, right? Come on. Come on. Do enough drugs so I sound like I know what I'm doing. Bring it to the next level till you know what I'm talking about. This means something when you get high, get high. In the back alley, in the squat, and then you never washed out of the beatbox moho. Say what you want about Fletch, at least he knows what the $1,000 get you. Don't talk to me, don't work for you yet. Now, yeah, hey, bye-bye. Just hit a water buffalo, transcending past the domination of your lawsuit dismissal, past the break point of the racist allegations of Trump. Oh, right? You know what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to play. You know what I mean? You better believe that there are people who have, like, you know what I mean? They're like associate professors for like since 1972 at SUNY, who have gotten, like, you know, Pricks Academy grants from Europe, right? Doing this shit. And I'm not saying they shouldn't have, you know what I mean? Look for my new CDR on Cranky. Yeah! Meanwhile, you know what I mean? Why'd you have to go? And sue me. Sue me. Sue me. Sue me. Sue me. Does it make you feel like a big man? Does it make you feel like a tall man? To sue me. To sue me. To sue me. To sue me. We're all crying now and laughing like a bunch of lawyers on the third dimensional plane of sue me, sue me, sue me, sue me. No one ever wins, except the lawyers, and they all die on the cutting room floor of Ascension. Yeah. Anyhow, you know, but fuck you. You want to go practice? You want to go play? You know what I mean? Whatever. It is what it is, bro. That's all I'm saying. I'll have more to say soon, but this is CW's night. I'll just take it all in. That's what she said. Literally. We say hello to Pimp Bisquick. Good hello. Ironically. There you go. Pragmatic. Taking someone to court to because of criticism is a ridiculously expensive waste of time to prove you're not an idiot that proves the complete antithesis. Hey, listen, I'm tempted to agree. Pimp Bisquick, who tried to sue for what? Basically what happened was I'll just be honest about it. I'll just tell you the truth. I brought a lawsuit against Corey Good. And it was dismissed. And I'm ready to take the L. I'm kidding. That's not what happened. Who tried to sue for what? Okay, so first of all, what happened was first the earth cooled. Get out of here. You know exactly what the hell's going on. There you go. Sheehan. Billy Sheehan? Yes, that's the guy I'm talking about. Curly hair. Which Jesuits? The good ones. Hashtag not my disclosure. There you go. Disclosure isn't what it used to be. Tell me about it. You know what I mean? You can never win. You know what I mean? Space Academy, congrats on the dismissal. I was so disappointed that what happened to you, though I would like to see the Annihilation Machine in full form. I appreciate you being humble and letting it go. It's just too ugly to watch. I hear you. Thank you. Tim Frey, what's up, everybody? See what you did there. Pimp Bisquick, man, I miss so much. I hear you. There you go. Where were you during Malta 2000 XXL? Apparently in the laundry machine. You know what I mean? Ray Jackson, UFO disease, lol. What's up? Man, I got, just when I shook the boogie woogie flu, I caught UFO disease. It was terrible. Effluent for you, I've heard. It's a thing we were born with. It's simply called having a hero's journey. Apparently, according to David Wilcock, we're all going through the hero's journey together, universally, I guess as a planet or as a species. I'm still going through my analysis. Out of context, CW Chanter, welcome. Welcome out of context, CW Chanter. Just wanted to say congrats. I'm leaving now. Thank you, Ben. You are free now. Are we ever free? Thank you. Thank you for coming by. Feel free always to have me be out of context. There you go. Why is pizza? We'll never know. There you go. Blind Melon Chanter. I like that. It's got legs, ironically. Ray Jackson, I'm part of the SSP. Ray? I might be part of the SSP as well. There's an argument to be made, and I hope you know that this is true. Galactic families karmic families, cosmic families. 6 degrees of separation, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. We are connected to who we are connected to. You can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family. Associations, voluntary and involuntary. We don't always know what we're doing or why. If we think about who we're connected with and who we interact with, if we want to think about who our stories involve, there is very little to the Batman without the Joker. There's very little to Magneto without the X-Men. There's very little to Lex Luthor without Superman. The story has characters. The drama has parts. Whether it's an imaginary game or whether it's a real thing, whether it's stated in jest or whether the comment is sincere, from either player's mouth. Even if we make the statement in ignorance. If there is a secret space program, then by definition, we are all part of it. Because for something to be a secret, there must be people for it to be a secret from. LW, been waiting for this stream for 4 years. There you go. Daniel Sheehan. Yeah, exactly. When the Arrow report came out, I immediately saw a interview with Daniel Sheehan where someone was interviewing some British journalist, or no, a New Zealand journalist who was saying that Daniel Sheehan was making the bombshell allegation that the Arrow report was a sham because Daniel Sheehan had spoken to one of the people that was the head of the report and had spoken to them and told them that Daniel Sheehan at one point had gone to some location, had been shown, had seen a photograph of a crashed UFO, had taken this photograph surreptitiously or diagrams of it or something, and then something had taken the photos and put the documents in some Jesuit location where he was working at some point, and then they didn't mention it in the report. And I said, well, no, they do mention in the report that they spoke to people who wanted to speak to them, and they said that a lot of this stuff was they did not find to be credible. So Daniel Sheehan just has to accept the fact that he was probably most likely one of the people that they spoke to that they did not find credible. And I got to tell you, this reason, firstly, he's talking about you have this data, these documents, and you mentioned them, but you don't have them anymore. They're with the Jesuits. And people in the conspiracy theory community talk about the Jesuits all the time. You have a guy that used to be, I forget what his call sign used to be in conspiracy theory circles and on YouTube, but he's now an associate of Tim Pool. He hangs out with Tim Pool, and he was Mr. The Jesuits are part of the whole conspiracy thing. And I'm like, so, you're part of the Jesuit conspiracy. That's what it is. There you go. Philip Blair says, will you get your David Wilcock book autographed? I doubt it. When certain people talked to David Wilcock and brought up possibly debating me, this is going back 5 or 6 years, said I was a hater. And remember when I was at 2019's Contact in the Desert with my Lilliputian at the time girlfriend, David Wilcock had called in extra security because he thought that me and her were going to, quote unquote, bomb the place. Meanwhile, we spent most of the time hanging out with what was his name? Not Dave Emery, Emery Smith, and his girlfriend. So, we weren't going to bomb anybody. And then we were also hanging out with Jimmy Church, who was really pissed off because I was like, shit talking him all the time or whatever. And we hung out with Emery Smith's, we hung out with Jimmy Church's wife at the time, Rita, who was telling me that she was getting that David was telling her, what can I do to fix this? What can I do to repair myself? And she was like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you're going to do. Like, because at that point, like the whole gem documents thing had already happened, like, him doing all that shit or whatever. And it was just, it was craziness. You know what I mean? And it was, it was all this bullshit. But, where am I going with that story? Sala, whatever his name is, what's his name? Sala, had his book there that was 90% Corey Good material. And Sala signed my book. And he knew who I was. He didn't think I was going to bomb the place. I went up to him. I'm like, hey, I'm not trying to, can I buy your book and get you to sign it? He was like, of course. He goes, of course I know. And I go, you know who I am, right? He goes, of course I know who you are. He goes, yeah, no, freedom of speech, blah, blah, blah. And he signed it, but he signed it like not CW Chanter. It was like CW. He didn't it was obvious that he wasn't trying to get my name wrong on purpose. It wasn't like CW Ranter or CW RW Puff and stuff. It wasn't like fuck you. Like it was like CW Cantor or something. It was like he just got it wrong. He knew who I was, but he didn't know who I was. But he got it close enough, and he didn't ask me my name. So it was he knew who I was, and it was a very sincere signature. It was like he gave me a little note, a little personalized note to it. It was cool. But now Corey Good has thrown that guy under the bus because he's not kissing his ass. I don't know what the hell the problem is. I don't know what people are upset with because the cheese stands alone with Corey Good, right? No one can be his friend. He can be the only guy that speaks to anybody. He can be the only big machismo. I guess I'm not trying to talk shit. My heart goes out to the guy. You know what I mean? I think he's gotten overabundant. I don't know. I'm not going to talk. Maybe I shouldn't talk. I'll just say I'm all about love. I know I talk rough on people, but that's because it's frustrating to me when people don't do what I think is the right thing. And I'm going to be totally honest with people. I'm going to be totally honest with people. Okay? The reason why I speak with authority like I know what's right and everybody should do what I think is the right thing to do, is because guess what? I think I might not be the smartest person in the room if I'm in a room full of astrophysicists or like computer technicians. But when it comes to this effing community, I'm the chief of this family, of this galactic family. I am designating myself the big brain in the room. Okay. I'm the voice of authority in this location at this time. Why? Because I am. Because I know it's right, and y'all, people who disagree with me, are wrong. And they should, Shane the Ruiner should have listened to me and do what I said. Uh, um, E.T. Whisperer, should have, listened to what I told them to do and not done what I told them to do. Everybody should just do what I say. But when they don't, it's frustrating. It pisses me off. And I get hot under the collar and I get angry and upset and I yell and I scream. I'm good. I try to do less of that. I do. But why do I act like I'm the smart guy that has all the answers? Because guess what? Like I said, if we're trying to fix a car, no, I don't have the right answers. If we're trying to do plumbing, no, I don't have the right answers. In this world, in this community, yeah, I'm right. Absolutely. You know what I mean? We could bet our bottom dollar that I'm the correct one, that I'm the smart guy, that I know that we should all just do what I say. Or if it like comes down to like a technical call, I'll take a quorum. Like we'll like call like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I'll take like, like wise counsel of like people and then I'll make a selection. But other than that, like to the degree that I'm wrong, I'll be wrong. That's just it. Hey, look, I'm telling you the truth. And look, hey, that's my opinion. And guess what? Are we on a desert island? Do I have some sort of like armed thug army behind me? No. I'm just telling you what I think and why, what motivated me to be like, these people are wrong. And F you. And you know what I mean? Listen to me. And to the degree that you're not listening to me, you know what I mean? That shit. Right? And I'm saying, you know what I mean? Okay. You know what I mean? Like, but, but think about it. To the degree that people didn't listen to me or do what I said, first of all, they were wrong. Show me where they were right. And number two, how their life turned out. But I don't know. Well, what the hell do I know? You know what I mean? There you go. Mario Heat, that's what's up. Phil Blair, super SSP, super special persons. Yes. And then someone confronts us to be like, let us know that our club is for, our words. Natasha Nix, I'm within 3 degrees of Kevin Bacon for real. Then what you got to do is you got to get 3 degrees away. It's a mysterious thing. You want to be exactly 6 degrees away from Kevin Bacon. Oh, here we go. Ray Jackson. I hang out with you all before. I was once known as the Flying Car Show. Allegedly, Elijah Price needed David Dunn. Google it. Not, I'm going to. There you go. Ba. Well, now I gotta. Okay, here we go. Now I'm gonna have to go back and forth. Hold on, wait. Elijah. If this turns out to be some sort of like, hey, well, where does this go? Elijah Price. If this gets me kicked off the internet or on some sort of watch list, I'm be so pissed off. Some sort of master troll. David Dunn. Ooh. February 23rd, 2020. I like that number. Warning. This analysis contains spoilers. Psychoanalysis, Elijah Price. Posted 4 years ago. Hold on. Bear with me, folks. Okay, so this is when did the movie Unbreakable come out? Because that's one of the things that we need to know. Hold on, wait, because I gotta see if it's on the nostalgia loop. 2000. Okay, so 24 years ago. Here we go. M. Night Shyamalan is a man known for his twists. Some of them are great and have become common knowledge, such as the case with The Sixth Sense. But then you have Shyamalan's greatest twist of all, a twist that held up for nearly 2 decades without being spoiled to a huge degree until the film Glass came out and had to play it up out of necessity. Elijah Price. Elijah Price sets himself up to be a friend and mentor to David Dunn, the unbreakable hero of, well, Unbreakable. But in a shocking twist, the ending reveals him to be a villain who has caused numerous terrorist acts in an attempt to find a hero to oppose him. The villain and then later films like Split and Glass show his influence didn't just affect Dunn. Motivation goals. Elijah Price really just wants to feel like his existence is validated, plain and simple. In fact, everything about him makes him one of the most tragic villains you could ever see. He suffered his whole life due to brittle bone disease, only finding solace in comics, and eventually he comes to the conclusion that his destiny is to be an arch villain. But to be that, he needs to find a hero who opposes him. By the end of Unbreakable, he technically succeeds in his goal. I did Google it. There you go. There you go. Michael Salla. There you go. Dr. Michael Salla. I think his doctorate is in nutrition. Spoiler alert, he had no idea who he was. There you go. Buckylicious Station. We say hello to Bucky. There you go. Token study. There you go. There you go. Well, at least I'm catching up to the live chat. Here we go. Americans Unnameable Media. We say hello. Tell them. There you go. There you go. CE Santa. There you go. Such humility. CW is a Trisolarian for sure. Hey. There you go. CW is that race of the blah, blah, blah. Did someone say February 23rd? I did. We say hello to Jason Scholl. We've got 99 people watching us. There you go. Fantastic. Whoa, 200 people. Matrix came out today 25 years ago. Is that true? There you go. Oh, my God. There you go. Okay, folks, here we go. Let me tell you saying this. Here we go. I found out this news about my lawsuit. Let me tell you this. Now we get to the really, 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 really dragged out portion of the show. If I've got 98 people watching me now, this number's going to really go down even more so compared to it's an hour and 47 minutes already. Holy crap. Man, this is really going to be a test of people are going to be like, holy crap. And you know what's so crazy? I'll tell you this, folks. This is how it works. I've got 98 people watching me. It's an hour 47 minutes. And then it's going to be like total watch time, whatever. It's going to be like average watch time is going to be like 2.5 minutes. But here's where we're going to go to the magic portion of the show. Here's the theory. Look, David Wilcock believes that his theories, his woo-woo, is backed up by scientific evidence and is scientifically established. I believe that my woo-woo is just of a similar nature to his, but is just thoughts and ideas. But we both believe that time is cyclical and that things repeat themselves. I have my nostalgia loops. He has his much bigger arcs of time, simplifying things, and I don't mean to put words in his mouth. Okay? Based on reading his book and dedicating myself to trying to finish his book by the solstice of April 8th, and his book being from 2013 and giving my SSP time travel technology, not copywritten, not trademarked, borrow and steal, use as you will, because if it's real, it's magic, and it's thoughts and ideas for humanity, then why would you trademark it, right? Why wouldn't you just let it be free? In order to go back to 2013, in order to time travel, in order to make a wormhole, a time tunnel to 2013, I'm only listening to music or trying to only listen to music from 2013, only trying to play video games from 2013, comic books, yada, 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 yada. You know the routine. On Good Friday, I went to a concert with some buddies. The headliner was a band called Tear. I'd never heard of them. I was only going because my buddies wanted to go. When I went to iTunes after the show, I noticed that despite they had 3 albums that were listed as coming out in 2013, according to iTunes. Only one of these albums actually had come out in 2013. I don't know if it's a matter of when they got listed to iTunes, if it's a matter that they were reissued by an American label, though they had come out on foreign labels in other years. They have albums from 2000 and I guess it was like 2011. One of the albums is actually from 2013. 2 of the albums were from other years, but all 3 of the albums are listed as from iTunes as having been released in 2013, the year that I'm traveling back to. The most popular song, that's from the 2013 album, the actual 2013 album, was a song that they kept on trying to play live, but was kept on being marred by technical problems. so they couldn't get through it. And had to eventually say, we think this song is bad luck, so we're skipping it. We're moving on to the next song. The song was called Mary of My Dreams or something. Or no, I forget what it was called. It was some The Light of the Northern Star. I forget what it was called. I'll look it up, but whatever. Nice. I see you kids getting wily. Well, let me see. I don't think it was Mary of My Dreams. Let me find out if the actual song was. So I'll be able to hook it up for you. Hold on. Okay, hold on. No, the song is it wasn't the song. The song that they did play it, but it wasn't the song that caused the technical problems. I think this is the album that actually is from 2013, but it was Mayor of My Nights. Mayor of My Nights. But the song that is it was Evening Star that they tried to play that they couldn't. It's from an album called The Lay of Thrym that I don't believe is actually from 2013. It's actually from 2011, but for whatever reason, it's from 2011, but iTunes has it says 2011 Napalm Records, but I guess it was uploaded to iTunes on August 1st, 2013 for whatever reason. I don't know exactly how it works. They have this other album. Yeah, it's like weird. I don't know how it works. But it was at that show on Good Friday that I had my phone set to Do Not Disturb. But then when I took it off Do Not Disturb was when I got the news that this case had been dismissed. And it's on the March 29th, Good Friday, I guess was I don't know. Hold on, let's see this. Now, I'm going to do the old share screen. I'm not going to go crazy with it. Because when I do this tends to be death for you guys. But check this out. March 29th, Good Friday, is the 88th day of the year. 277 days remain until the end of the year. And, I love 11s and 22s, but it's these double numbers, so 88. But check this out. Here's some things that I noticed. This is the Battle of Teuton. Edward of York defeats Queen Margaret to become King Edward IV of England, bring a temporary stop to the War of the Roses. The Ottoman Empire under Murad II captures Thessalonica from the Republic of Venice. 1632, the Treaty of Saint-Germain is signed, returning Quebec to French control after the English had seized it in 1629. What we're going to notice, what I noticed, is a whole bunch of stuff with Canada. Folks, we forget this. Canada is a monarchy. You know who the King of Canada is? It's King Charles. Canada has a king. It has the same king or queen as fucking England. And Canada doesn't, most Canadians don't understand the kind of really important role that the king or queen or whoever of fucking England plays in their government. It's not just symbolic. The king or queen of Canada, that's the exact same king or queen of England, plays in a lot of ways a more important role in Canada than they actually do in the government of England. I didn't learn that until I started doing this time loop studies. 1792, King Gustav III of Sweden dies after being shot in the back at midnight at a masquerade ball at Stockholm's Royal Opera 13 days earlier. Okay, now check this shit out. Let me stop sharing for a minute. This is where things kind of got weird. Okay? Tolkien study, same with Australia. Jay wrote, same over here. We say hello to UFO Gandalf. This Gustav III of Sweden and then Gustav IV. Well, let me do the share screen again for a second because I want to point out something before I go to the nitty gritty of these guys. Check this shit out. Gustav III of Sweden on March 29th, 1792, died after being shot in the back at a masquerade ball 13 days earlier. But on that same day, in 1809, his son, Gustav IV, abdicates after a coup d'etat. Ain't that some shit? But look, check this out. Let me stop sharing the screen for a second. So just go to the text. If I go to Gustav III, who got shot in the back at a masquerade ball, the guy was actually a pretty righteous dude. The reason he actually got shot was he goes kind of back and forth because he tried to support the King of France during, that whole shit. But for the most part, the reason that he got shot was because as a kind of a king, he was really trying to kind of be, it seems like he was trying to be good to the people and he was trying to lessen the power of the nobility and be more like righteous to the people. He was trying to get rid of the death penalty and corporal punishment. He was trying to do like a whole bunch of like kind of righteous stuff. Like, and then people were like kind of like, the nobility were like, no, we don't want you to do that. But anyway, I saw something there, the assassination, there you go. Let me get there. I know that sometimes this is like the death of me when I go to these crap, when I go to these the Wikipedia and start going through these things. Oh shit, look at this. Hold on. The king had not been shot dead. He was alive and continued to function as head of state. The coup was a failure in the short run. However, the wound became infected, and on 29th of March, the king finally died with these last words: "I feel sleepy. In a few moments rest would do me good." Gustav's gunshot wound was not initially considered life-threatening. Re-examined evidence allows that the sudden serious infection that killed him almost immediately, 13 days into his convalescence, may have been caused chemically by a attending surgeon who was his known adversary. So he was probably poisoned. But no, so check this out. Okay. Ulrika Arvidsson, the famous medium of the Gustavian era, had told him something that could be interpreted as a prediction of his assassination in 1786 when he visited her anonymously. A coincidence, but she was known to have a large network of informers all over town to help her with her predictions, and she was in fact interrogated about the murder. But anyway, if we go to when he was actually shot, he was shot on the 16th of March. Okay. If we go to March 16th, look at this crazy stuff that happens on the 16th of March. Hold on. I know this is like always the death mate. But I have 108 people watching me, and 108 is a sacred number in Hinduism because there's 108 numbers of God, names of God. Tolkien Study says that his brother's birthday was March 16th. Yo, check this out. 1190, the massacre of Jews at Clifford's Tower in York. 1244, over 200 Cathars who refused to recant are burnt to death after the fall of Montsegur. 1355, look at that double number. Amidst the Red Turban rebellions, Han Linier, acclaimed descendant of Emperor, that guy is proclaimed Emperor of the restored Song Dynasty. 1621, okay, welcome Englishmen, my name is Samusant. 1792, King Gustav III of Sweden is shot. He dies on March 29th. 1802, the Army Corps of Engineers is established. 1815, hold on. History of rocketry, 1926, history of rocketry. Robert Goddard launches the first liquid-fueled rocket at Auburn, Massachusetts. 1935, Adolf Hitler orders Germany to rearm herself in violation of the Treaty of Versailles. Conscription is reintroduced to form the Wehrmacht. 1936, warmer than normal temperatures rapidly melt snow and ice in the upper Allegheny and whatever rivers, leading to major flood in Pittsburgh. 1939, from Prague Castle, Hitler proclaims Bohemia and Moravia a German protectorate. World War II, the Battle of Iwo Jima ends, but small pockets of Japanese resistance persist. 1945, 90% of Würzburg, Germany is destroyed in only 20 minutes by British bombers, resulting in at least 4,000 deaths. 1962, Flying Tiger Line Flight 739 disappears in the Western Pacific Ocean with all 107 aboard, 107 aboard missing and presumed dead. 1966, launch of Gemini 8 with astronauts Neil Armstrong and David Scott. It would perform the first docking of two spacecraft in orbit. Check this out. 1968, Vietnam War, My Lai Massacre. Remember this one. Occurs between 347 and 500 Vietnamese villagers are killed by American troops. Remember that, because remember this. Gustav III is shot on this day, but dies on the 29th. And the My Lai Massacre occurs on this day. Remember that, because there's going to be another connection. 1978, we got this assassination of someone in 77. In 78, former Italian Prime Minister Aldo Moro was kidnapped. He was later murdered by his captors. 1978, a super tanker splits in two 3 miles off the coast of Brittany, resulting in the largest oil spill in history at that time. 1979, the Sino-Vietnamese War, the People's Liberation Army crosses the border back into China, ending the war. 1984, William Buckley, the CIA station chief in Lebanon, is kidnapped by Hezbollah. He later dies in captivity. 1985, you know this guy, Associated Press newsman Terry Anderson is taken hostage in Beirut. He is not released until December 1991. 1988, Iran-Contra affair. Remember, it's going to be 88 days on the 29th at the end, whatever. Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North and Vice Admiral John Poindexter are indicted on charges of conspiracy to defraud the United States. 1988, Halabja chemical attack. The Kurdish town of Halabja in Iraq is attacked with a mix of poison gas and nerve agents on the orders of Saddam Hussein, killing 5,000 people and injuring about 10,000 people. Folks, everything that happens on a given day, think about this. Look how much shit happens that's bad on this day. 1988, the Troubles. Ulster Loyalist militant Michael Stone attacks a provisional IRA funeral in Belfast with pistols and grenades. 3 persons, one of them a member of Pirate, are killed and more than 60 others are wounded. Look at this. 1995, Mississippi formally ratifies the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution, becoming the last state to approve the abolition of slavery. The 13th Amendment was officially ratified in 1865. Mississippi only formally ratified it in 1995. But there's no racism. There's no systematic racism in the United States of America. Don't worry about that, folks. 2001, a series of bomb blasts in China kills 108 people and injures 38. 2003, American activist Rachel Corrie is killed in Rafah by being run over by an Israeli Defense Force bulldozer while trying to obstruct the demolition of a home. 2005, Israel officially hands over Jericho to Palestinian control. 2010, the Kasubi Tombs, Uganda's only cultural World Heritage Site, is destroyed in a fire. There you go. 2014, Crimea votes in a controversial referendum to cede from Ukraine to join Russia. Another bomb in 2016 in Pakistan. 2016, another bomb in Nigeria. 2020, remember I tell you that there's going to be something bad economically? 2020, the Dow Jones Industrial Average falls by 2,997, the single largest point drop in history and the second largest percentage drop ever. The crash is Black Monday. It follows the U.S. Federal Reserve announcing that it will cut target interest, blah, 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 blah. Atlanta spa shootings, blah, 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 blah. I'm just going for real quick through the birth so we don't spend all day here. I might be missing something. I'm going to leave it to you guys to go back yourselves and see if there's anything else especially interesting. Looking for big names. Jump out at me. Big names. I'm going to miss them all. Going too fast. First Lady of the United States, Pat Nixon. You know that's bad. She died in 1993. Jerry Lewis. Born. You know that's bad. The Clown Who Cried was born. Gonna miss them all. Chuck Woolery, famous conservative and talk show host. Jay-Z Knight. Holy shit. Jay-Z Knight was born on this terrible day. Eric Estrada, remember we're talking about March 16th now, the day that this Gustav III was shot. He's going to die on the 29th, Good Friday. Nancy Wilson. Flavor Flav, 1959. It's all downhill from here. Tracy Bonham. She's doing fine. We're going somewhere with this, folks. Blue Cantrell. We're going somewhere with this, folks. Don't forget Brian Wilson. No, the wrong Brian Wilson. It doesn't matter. Wolfgang Van Halen. Great. Wonderful. Who cares? Deaths. Come on. I'm like that compulsive gambler. You know the one, the shirt. Dick Dale. We lost Dick Dale on this day in 2019. You know it's bad news. Okay. Day of the Book of Smugglers. Okay. Listen, folks. Okay. So that was the day that King Gustav III got shot. Natasha Nix, Flavor Flav and Jay-Z Knight are the same person. Have you ever seen them together? Prove me wrong. I can't. but my numbers still keep on growing. What day is the 15th and the 16th of March? This year, it was a Saturday. Phil Blair, I remember that about Rachel Corrie in Gaza in 2003 because it was only a couple of weeks before Iraq was invaded by Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld and company, and I saw the news about her on Democracy Now! Okay. Now watch this. Beware the Ides of March. Absolutely. Now watch this. Going back to March 29th. Now remember what we saw about the My Lai massacre, okay? Now remember that March 16th was a total shit show. I think we can't deny that. Okay, now watch this. So King Gustav III dies after being shot in the back 13 days earlier. Okay? Now this is March 29th, not today. This is the day that I learned, the day that the case against me was dismissed. 1809, King Gustav IV abdicates after a coup d'etat. Now, we saw how bad that day was, the 16th. Now, check this out. Mexican-American War, the United States forces led by General Winfield Scott takes Veracruz after a siege. (1867). You're going to see a whole bunch of stuff with Canada. Queen Victoria gives royal assent to the British North America Act, which establishes Canada on July 1st. 1871, Royal Albert Hall is opened by Queen Victoria. 1879, the Anglo-Zulu War, Battle of Kumbala. British forces defeat 20,000 Zulus. 1882. Remember, March 29th is the 88th day of the year. 1882, the Knights of Columbus is established. It's basically the Catholic Church's answer to, it's not officially the Catholic Church, but it's Catholic's answer to basically Freemasons. 1936, the 1936 German parliamentary election and referendum seeks approval of the recent remilitarization of the Rhineland. 1942, the bombing of Lubeck in World War II is the first major success for the RAF Bomber Command against Germany and a German city. 1951, Julius and Ethel Rosenberg are convicted of conspiracy to commit espionage. Now watch this. 1951, the hypnosis murders in Copenhagen. What were the hypnosis murders? Check this out. The Copenhagen hypnosis murders were a double murder case in connection with a failed bank robbery that happened in Denmark on 29th of March, 1951. After extensive police, psychiatric, and psychological investigations and the ensuing trial proceedings, 2 people were convicted of the murders. Paul Hardrup and Bjorn Schuv Nielsen. It was the view of the trial court in a decision that the Danish Supreme Court affirmed that Nielsen had hypnotized the 28-year-old Hardrup to carry out the robbery and the murders. Both men served prison terms and were released in 1967. Nielsen died by suicide in 1971. Hardrup died in 2012. When Hardrup committed the robbery, he shot one of the bank's cashiers and then the branch manager. Hardrup then fled by bicycle to a nearby street and entered a building. Several eyewitnesses went in after him and the police were directed to a stairwell where Hardrip had tried to hide. Hardrip quickly surrendered to the police without resistance. The investigation. The bicycle used by Hardrip in his escape belonged to Bjorn Nielsen. A few days after the incident, Nielsen himself contacted the police and claimed he wanted to make sure he was not a robbery suspect just because Hardrip had used his bicycle. Nielsen and Hardrip had previously shared the same cell at Horsen State Prison, where they had served sentences for treason after World War II. During their time in prison, both men had shown great interest in Asian philosophy, yoga, and hypnosis. After the robbery, the police department began to suspect that Nielsen might have used hypnosis to manipulate Hardrip to commit the bank robbery and related murders. The theory was corroborated by 40 witness statements from prisoners and guards at Horsen State Prison. These statements suggested that Hardrip was already under Nielsen's mental control in prison. The guards and prisoners reported that Nielsen had manipulated Hardrip like a puppet, and that he was able to make Hardrip behave as if he were in a trance. Hardrip had also told several fellow inmates that Nielsen hypnotized him regularly. After an extensive set of legal proceedings that ended eventually in 1955, Hardrip was sentenced to be imprisoned indefinitely at the institution of Herstvedster. The Danish Supreme Court upheld Nielsen's sentence to life imprisonment and declined to reopen the case. Yada, yada. Both Nielsen and Hardrip were released independently in 1967. Bjorn Nielsen committed suicide with potassium cyanide in 1974. Pelle Hardrip died in 2012. There's a movie made of it, premiered in 2018. The movie's director first met Hardrip in 1997 and was one of the few people to interview him. How do you like them apples? 1961, the 23rd Amendment to the United States Constitution is ratified. The 23rd Amendment to the United States Constitution is ratified, allowing residents of Washington, D.C. to vote in presidential elections. Now, check this out. 1968, the funeral of Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space, started in Moscow with thousands of people in attendance. Folks, as we've been doing this time loop stuff where I've been boring the shit out of you people by going back and doing these painstaking Wikipedia backlogs, going through these dates. Yuri Gagarin has been showing up all the effing time. We say goodbye to Natasha Nix. Natasha Nix, sorry to see you go, but we love to watch you leave. Bye. I have some Sunday night chores to attend to. Good seeing you all. I'll be back soon. Congratulations, CW. Be safe, everyone. Not a problem. We'll see you when we see you. We have seen Yuri Gagarin come up all the time. Bear with me. we have seen Yuri Gagarin come up all the effing time. I hope we don't lose him in the mix. March 29th was the funeral of Yuri Gagarin. Folks, remember when we were doing that anniversary of that UFO, the sighting of the things over the things of the friggin' anniversary, the 30th anniversary, blah, blah, blah. So we started doing this. But look at these dates for Yuri Gagarin. And we've been talking about, and I've been when I start dragging the thing around on Patreon. You gotta join me on Patreon, folks. This is the sort of thing I do on Patreon all the time. It's $1 a friggin' month. And I do these streams, these long ass streams on Patreon. It's on the pay. It's $1 a month. If you don't have $1 a month, listen, I'm sorry. Listen, it is what it is. But if you do have $1 a month, you spend $1 a month on me. Could you do it? Listen, I got these attorney's fees. And until the other guy pays the attorney's fees, okay, I'm going to have the attorney's fees. Can you give me $1 a month for this thing? Could you do it? You could. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. You can give more than $1 a month, and it'll get me to my stretch goal faster. And look, times are tough. If you don't have $1 a month, you don't have $1 a month. I don't know what I mean. It's ways. But if you do, for as little as $1 a month, you can help me meet my goal. Yeah. And it's not like I give you nothing. You know what I mean? Check this shit out. Born the 9th of March, 1934. Check this out. Died the 27th of March, 1968. Yo, 3 and 4 times 2. What is that? You put 3 and the 4 together, you add another 3 and the 4, what do you get? You get it at 68, don't you? Right? Now watch this. What's 7 plus 2? It's 9. Fuck you! Fuck you! Then I know that. The fuck is that shit? Right? Am I sharing the screen? I'm not sharing the screen there. Now I'm sharing the fucking screen. Are you fucking kidding me? You can add. I can add. Look at that shit. 9, 3, 1934. Died. 2-7. You add the 7 to 2, that's a 9. March 1968. Hold on. 3, 4 times 2 is 68. Come on! What does that mean? I don't know what it means. What it means fucking something. And remember I said there was 108 people watching me before? It was down to 105. But at one point we were watching, it was 108. I said it was the number of God. Now look at this. Look at this. Gagarin completed one orbit of Earth on 12 April 1961. And this thing, we're talking about April, the March and the April, and da-da-da-da-da. No, his flight took 108 minutes. And look at this guy. Hey, come on now. There are no enemies. We have no enemies. It's all an illusion. There's no bad guys. There's no good guys. We're all just friends on planet Earth here. Come on now. But this guy keeps on coming up. Come on. Come on. Oh, 1 plus 8 is 9. Boom. 9. 2 plus 7 is 9. Why aren't me and David Wilcock friends? If he was friends with me, instead of, I could, you know what I mean? I could be like, hey, man, you know what I mean? Like, it's just numbers and whatever, and it's cool, but you know what I mean? Like, don't invest in that other company. You know what I mean? I'm not going to blow up your shit. Don't waste your money on security. It makes you look like a dick. You know, it's not good luck. You know what is a good look? This guy. Look at this guy. That's a good look. You know what I mean? William S. Burroughs is a bad father, but he, allegedly shot one gal wife, but he saved another one that people don't know about that. They don't talk about that. And William S. Burroughs was an SA survivor as a kid. People don't know that a lot about that about him. You got to read his biography. And look at this guy. Yo, this guy. Check this guy's biography out. And you know what I mean? And he died on the same day that this other guy, Gustav III, died. Right? Who got shot at a masquerade ball on the 13th. That was, you saw that day, March whatever. The we saw that he died 13 days. He got shot 13 days earlier on the whatever the day, the 16th, and we saw that day, March 16th, is like an evil day. That was like the worst day ever, right? And then he dies on this day, the March 29th day. That's not this day, but it was the March 29th day, right? And then this guy was buried on March 29th. So it wasn't a good day either. But he actually got killed on the 27th. I'm telling you, folks, there's something to all these numbers. I'm telling you, folks. So anyway, the way that Gagarin died apparently is like yada yada. But look at this, his early life. So he was born in March 9th, 1934. I read this thing early, so I'm going to shoot through it. Here we go. So he was born here. The German occupation during World War II, it was all fucked up. So the Germans advanced into Moscow. The Red Army seized all their shit. Then the Nazis occupied the place. And the German officer took over his farm, his family's farm. And so for 21 days, they had to live in a mud hut outside and work for the Nazis. The Nazi, during this period, Yuri became a saboteur. That's Yuri, this guy. When he was a kid, he became a saboteur, especially after one of the German soldiers called the Devil by the children tried to hang his younger brother, Boris, on an apple tree using the boy's scarf. In retaliation, Yuri sabotaged the soldier's work. He poured soil into the tank batteries gathered to be recharged and randomly mixed the different chemical supplies intended for the task. Oh, yeah, in early 1943, then they got kid. Then they were sent to do slave labor in Poland. Then when they escaped, they were found by Soviet soldiers who conscripted them into helping with the war effort. They didn't return home until after the war in 1945. The rest of the Gagarin family believed the other two older children were dead. Yuri became filled with grief. He was beaten for refusing to work for the German forces, but it was terrible. There he goes, blah blah blah. So then anyway, then he became a pilot. Okay, and then he became he gave first dude in space, right? Here's his thing. And then these douchebags, because the Soviets, honestly, fuck these guys. They can't do anything. Well, they got into space correctly. Here we go. Here's him going. Off we go, he says. But then apparently, whatchamacallit, then here he goes, the death. On the 27th of March, 1968, while on a routine training flight, yada yada, his plane crashed. That was it. And then they buried him in an urn with his co-pilot. What was the day of that first flight? I'm trying to think. Here we go. Okay. What was the first flight? Here we go. Yo, it was 12th of April, 1961. And the solstice is going to take place on April 8th. So all sorts of crazy shit's coming together. Yada. Remember, this guy on the 16th got shot. Then 13 days later, he dies, like in back in the day. And then we saw it was on the 16th of March that the My Lai massacre happened, right? Now check this shit out. (1971) My Lai massacre. Lieutenant William Calley is convicted of premeditated murder and sentenced to life in prison for the My Lai massacre, which had occurred on March 16th, 1968, 4 years earlier. 1973, Operation Barrel Roll, a covert American bombing campaign in Laos to stop communist infiltration of South Vietnam, ends. 1974, NASA's Mariner 10 becomes the first space probe to fly to Mercury. What does any of this stuff mean? I don't know. 1974, Terracotta Army was discovered in the province in China, the famous Terracotta Army. So this is all stuff that happened in history on the day that my lawsuit was dismissed. On Good Friday. 1982, the Canada Act of 1982 receives the royal assent from Queen Elizabeth II. Canadian laws, in order to become law, need to be okayed by the fucking Queen or King of fucking England. Most Canadians have no fucking idea that that's the case in their fucking country. Setting the stage for the Queen of Canada to proclaim the Constitution Act of 1982. 1999, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closes above the 10,000 mark for the first time during the height of the dot-com bubble. That's what I'm telling you, people. Watch out. 2001, a Gulfstream 3 crashes on approach to the Aspen-Pitkin County Airport in Aspen, Colorado. All 18 people aboard are killed. 2002, a reaction to the Passover massacre 2 days prior, Israel launches Operation Defensive Shield against Palestinian militants, its largest military operation in the West Bank since 1967 Six-Day War. 2004, a whole bunch of people joined NATO. 2010, 2 suicide bombers hit the Moscow metro system at the peak of morning rush hour, killing 40. Can't believe it's 11 o'clock. 2014, the first same-sex marriages in England and Wales are performed. 2017, Prime Minister Theresa May invokes Article 50 of the Treaty on European Union, formally beginning the United Kingdom's withdrawal from the European Union. 2021, 3 years ago, the ship Ever Given was dislodged from the Suez Canal. As far as births are concerned, give us a winner. Give us a winner. Cy Young was born in 1867. I might miss something. Who knows? Who knows what we're going to find? Who are we going to find? Anyone get Pearl Bailey? Pearl Bailey, born 1918. What does this mean? I have no idea. Think of it what you will. Vincent Gigante, American boxer and mobster, died 2005. Vangelis. Vangelis, born 1943, as well as Eric Idle, born in 1943. Probably missing a lot, but what are you going to do? Do. Apologize for the dead air. Amy Sedaris. Folks, I'm telling you, follow along with me. There is something to Lucy Lawless, New Zealand actress, born in 1968. Not on this day, but rather on Chris D'Elia, controversial American stand-up comedian, actor, and writer, allegedly. There you go. Deaths. Welsh king and religious figure, unpronounceable name, Gwynlu. Gustav III, of course, as we've covered quite extensively. Apologizing, as always, for the dead air. Everybody's best friend, Carl Orff, died in 1982. The greatest techno song of all time, Carmiana Burana. Apologize for the dead air. And missing probably all of the greatest names on this list. There's probably like amazing names. Probably like everyone's like amazing that I'm missing. But it is what it is. Lou Gossett Jr. This year. So he died on the 29th. The day my lawsuit was dismissed, we lost Lou Gossett Jr. What are you going to do? It was also National Vietnam War Veterans Day. Was that true? Okay, well, there you go. You know what I mean? Hey, what does it mean? I don't know. But I do know we know that March 16th blew. That was like that's like obviously some sort of cursed day. But we do know this. March 29th, hey, 88th day of the year. And we found Yuri Gagarin was the hot dude, and he those numbers are pretty crazy. And the fact that Gustav III, that that his day that he was shot and the day that he died, and the fact that those are the same days that also that his son abdicated on the same day years later, but also the fact that the day that he was shot and they died also lines up with the days that the My Lai massacre occurred, and then 4 years later that the guy who led it was convicted of it. It's pretty crazy. And so if nothing else, you can learn history. Whereas these other guys are just telling you stuff, some of which I gotta tell you, like this Neil Keenan, stuff, and there's an alliance and they're working behind the scenes. And I can tell you that I'm telling you, look, hey, Not everything you read in the history books is true, granted, you know, but it's more likely true than some of the stuff these other guys are telling you. I'm telling you, right? If you're going to spend your time researching space programs, you could spend your time researching space programs that may or may not be real, or you could spend your time researching space programs that are actually real. And granted, the biography of Yuri Gagarin, it's probably, what I mean, there's probably a little bit of, Johnny Appleseed in there, and like, and then he fought the Nazis, and then, he was like, did this, and believe me, they were making the Soviets out to be that great, you know what I mean? They could script the guy, and they were like, can we go home now? You know what I mean? Well, again, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Effluent for you. On April 8th, I will become a zombie and crave your brains. It just happens. Hey, listen, it's okay to crave the brains. You know what I mean? A thought is just a thought. The thing is this. It starts with a thought. And for the 109 people watching me now, I say thank you. I say I love you. Hey, listen, folks, what we got to do? We got to do the whole thing. Subscribe. Give the video a like. Do it now. Do it. Give the video a like, and subscribe. Subscribe. If you're subscribed already, subscribe again and give the video a like and make it. Hey, leave a comment in the comment section. Why not? Hey, it's one thing to tell me that you love me. It's another thing to write it down in the comment section. Why? Hey, come on. Could you? You could if you. Could you? You could. If you, I'd like it. Could you do me a favor? If you feel like doing me a favor, you can do me a favor and put a comment in the comment section below if you're so inclined. It's called a call to action, and I'm calling you to action of actioning to put a comment in the comment section below, and give it a thumbs up, and make sure you're subscribed. And if you're subscribed, make sure you put the notification bell to all notifications. Do that. There you go. And you can also support me on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Of course, you can always give more. If you can. Originally published in 2011, but reprinted in 2013 from the Oracle of the Shapeshifters, authored by Lucy Cavendish, but ably illustrated by the one and only Jasmine Beckett Griffith. We have number 36. Six plus 3 is 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. I don't trust my math. I can do the math, but I just don't trust it. The unending sadness of looking back. Oddly enough, because we've been talking so much about the time loops, and unfortunately, I can only time travel backwards. But there's the unending sadness of looking back, endless regret, obsessive grief, replaying the past, negative nostalgia. But that's not what we're trying to do here, folks. Endless regret. I don't regret the past. Things happen. We've done what we've done. Everything happens for a reason. Obsessive grief. We have the events, we have the consequences. We have whatever we're feeling about them currently. We may be telling ourselves that this is the way that it is. But that's not the case. It is what we say it is. It is what we make of it. We can make the crime against us a liberating lesson. We can make the obstacle a challenge. We can make the hardship a game to play. Replaying the past, negative nostalgia. Well, what's the opposite of negative nostalgia? Positive nostalgia. The past is something to play with, to reassess, to put into different perspective, to readjust, to work with. Retro causality. Re-examine, readjust, reperspectivize, reperceive, and all of a sudden, the future is changed. I'm C.W. Chanter, and just like me, you too can weather the storm and rise above no matter the outcome and no matter what the judge writes down on the bottom line. All bills will be paid. All lessons will be learned. And seeing as we're not going to be here for a long time, we might as well make this one a good time. I love you, I love you, I love you. And if nobody told you they loved you today, Corey Good, David Wilcock, etc., etc., etc. Somebody just did. And that's somebody C.W. Chanter. Make of that what you will. Because you will. Until next time. Don't let it be so long. What do I gotta do to get 100 viewers on the next video? Get sued? Come on. Don't stay away so long. Feel free to check in more often. I don't bite. Only on Patreon. Huh? Huh? I'll tumble for you. Allegedly. Now I'm going to get some sort of thing. I don't take my shirt off on Patreon. No, no, that's not. Come on. Come on. What? Get me in trouble. OnlyFans? I would do only for the fans. Come on now. You know I'm not the kind of guy. Whether you're a fan of mine or I have no not fans. I make no distinction between fans or I have no enemies. If you subscribe to me on Patreon as a fan or as a lurker or as a looky-loo or as a trollish menace, I treat you all with the same amount of disregard and low-key hatred. No, I'm kidding. Come on. It's indifference. It's all lies and innuendo. And Louis Gossett Jr. Where'd that come from? If you think of the cinematic oeuvre of Louis Gossett Jr., the most striking thing about him is probably the amount of fame that he enjoys, because I'm not. This is like a terrible thing to say on the day of the guy. Well, no, he died on the 29th. To say on the, like, if he died on Good Friday, it's like not really. You don't want to say bad things about. No, we're all saying we like Enemy Mine. Like, he was in Enemy Mine, and that was a great movie. There was Enemy Mine, and then he was in Officer and a Gentleman, and then I've never seen an Officer and a Gentleman. I only understand Officer and a Gentleman because, like, chicks dug it from when my mom and dad were still doing it, apparently. Right? It was like when what's his face? Richard Gere was, still Richard Gere. But with the exception of Enemy Mine, that, dorks like you, me, Philip Blair, and Tolkien study like, and then it wasn't Randy. Yeah, it was Enemy Mine, which dweebs like us like. He doesn't have Randy. It's not Randy Quaid's baby. It's his own baby. They replicate um like earthworms. It's like mono whatever. But there's Enemy Mine, which I gotta tell you, I have a feeling is like one of those movies that, and it's Dennis Quaid. It's not Randy Quaid. It's Dennis Quaid, right? Isn't Randy Quaid the chitter's full and he goes crazy? Isn't it Dennis Quaid? And then that's Iron Eagle. But I was going to say Iron Eagle is not a good movie. Which is the Quaid brother that's the good Quaid? Isn't Dennis Quaid the good? Which is the good Quaid? Dennis Quaid isn't Dennis Quaid the good brother? Hold on. Enemy Mine is from 1985. Okay, here we go. Dennis Quaid, you're right. Hold on. What was I saying? I'm saying Dennis. Y'all were saying Randy. Right? Yeah, no. Y'all were saying Randy. I was saying Dennis. Randy is the crazy one. There you go. I'm not trying to watch the. Hold on. Here's where I was going to go. I was going to go for the Wikipedia. I always go for the Wikipedia. Wolfgang Peterson. Oh, here we go. They become stranded together on an alien planet, must overcome mutual distrust in order to cooperate and survive. Began production in Budapest in April 1984. April of 1984. Hello? Under the direction of Richard Loncraine, who quickly ran into creative differences with producer Stephen Friedman, and executives at 20th Century Fox. The project was shut down after a week of shooting. Peterson then took over as director and reshot Loncraine's scene after moving the production to Munich. Originally budgeted at $17 million, the film ultimately cost more than $40 million after marketing costs were factored in. It was a box office failure during the 1985 holiday season, earning only a little over $12 million. Saw it in the theater. However, the film was successful in the former Soviet Union, where it became the first Western sci-fi film shown in theaters. It later gained a cult following. They were called the Dracs. It was a war between the humans associated as the Bilateral Terran Alliance, or BTA. And no human hates the Dracs more than Willis E. Davidge. Dracs reproduce through self-fertilization. To pass the time, Davidge and Jerry memorize each other's ancestry, agreeing that Davidge's lineage is very thin. Jerry later dies in childbirth, but not before making Davidge swear to take the child, Zamis, back to the Drac homeworld and recite the Jariba lineage so the child can join Drac society. Davidge raises Zamis, who calls him uncle. One day a ship flies overhead and Davidge goes to investigate. Zamis is curious and follows. He is discovered by a pair of scavengers. Davidge attacks the men, killing one of them, but Zamis is inadvertently stands between Davidge and the other miner, and Davidge is gunned down. Later, a BTA patrol ship finds Davidge apparently dead and returns him to his base space station. During an impersonal funeral ceremony, Davidge suddenly awakens, speaking Drac in his confused state. He's later reinstated to duty, but not as a pilot, as his superiors want to make sure he is not defected to the Dracs. Unable to get help in rescuing Zamis, Davidge steals a fighter ship to find the child on his own. He manages to find the scavenger ship and sneaks aboard. Davidge speaks to the Drac slaves in their own language. They know about Zamis and realize he is uncle. Davidge enters the facility, fighting one miner after another, and then the slaves revolt. Toward the end of the battle, they are assisted by the BTA crew who pursued the stolen ship. Davidge fights and is nearly killed by the same scavenger that first shot him, but is saved when one of the Drac slaves shoots the scavenger. Davidge and Zamis are reunited and return to the Drac homeworld with the free Dracs. In the epilogue, Davidge and Zamis are on the Drac homeworld as Davidge recites the Jariba family line before the Drac Council, fulfilling his promise to Jerry. And when, in the fullness of time, Zamis brought his own child before the Holy Council, the name of Willis Davidge was added to the line of Jariba. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that cool, man? The novella was published in 1979. The film began shooting in April 1984 with Richard Loncraine, Brimstone, and Treacle as director and a budget of $18 million. However, after 3 weeks of shooting in Iceland and Budapest, producers became concerned about a mixture of budget overruns, creative differences, and poor quality dailies. It looked like the planet Earth, said one executive close to the production. It was costing millions of dollars to create a different look, and both the location and Lou Gossett's costume made it look like a cheap 50s horror movie. He kind of directed himself into a corner, Gossett said later. Because of the weather, he couldn't shoot anything that matched. We would still be there. There you go. Da-da-da-da-da. There you go. At the film review aggregator website, Rotten Tomatoes Enemy Mine has an approval rating of 59% based on 27 critics, with an average rating of 5.7 out of 10. What the fuck do they know? Roger Ebert gave the film 2.5 out of 4 stars, saying it made no compromises in its art direction, its special effects, and its performances, and then compromised everything else in sight. Janet Maslin of the New York Times called it this season's Dune, referring to the critically panned science fiction epic from the previous year. Variety magazine called it an anthropomorphic view of life, but touching nonetheless. 17 years later, another New York Times reviewer gave the film a more positive assessment, noting, taking in the intended spirit, it's often moving, suggesting that what might have happened if two of Earth's perpetually warring peoples were stranded together. The Los Angeles Times praised the film, calling it surprisingly coherent, surprisingly enjoyable. I liked it. The score was composed and conducted by Maurice Jouret and performed by the Studio Orchestra in Munich and a synthesizer ensemble. All right. A limited deluxe edition compact disc containing the original soundtrack album and unreleased and alternate cues was released in 2012. How you like that? All right. And we made this movie, we made this video 3 hours long. I haven't seen Three Body yet. Unlike this video, I hear that Netflix special is surprisingly coherent. I have the book because it was put out originally in Chinese in 2008. Just watch the trailer, silly, and react. I don't want to get copyright struck. Are you kidding me? This close to not being monetized by YouTube for the 5th time? Folks, it is 11:37, and if at 12 o'clock I don't turn into a pumpkin, I would be surprised. Happy still Easter. Congratulations to me. Folks, I got nothing against the other guy. I got nothing but love. Pay my attorney's fees. Let's just call it a day. You know what I mean? let's call the whole thing off. You might as well. That's what I say. Eh. You probably get the, it is what it is. I'm going to tell you something. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to tell you something. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you something to the other guy. I don't not like you. I love you. And you're never going to prove or establish to anyone that I'm out to get you or that I'm the bad guy. Because I'm not a bad guy. You know? And if you think that anything about what I say or do makes me look like bad, it's just because, I think you don't get it. I can understand why you don't like me talking about you. I really do. Right? You know what I mean? But we have the freedom to talk. We have the freedom to discuss things that are said and statements that are made publicly. And now that, you've held up a report that doesn't say that I'm a criminal and said that it says that I'm a criminal. And now that we have emails from people that say that they were involved with you and know that you were involved in things, say that I was, doing horrible things. And now that you've made videos that say that the things that you said under oath were not true. Kid, it's over. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that because I don't like you. I'm saying that because I love you, and I'm trying to tell you, you are not going to outsmart, me or the attorneys for me, or, my attorney is smarter than me. Okay? And the attorneys for the other guys are just as smart as my attorney. Okay? So you've got all sorts of smart attorneys against, even allowing for the fact, let's say your attorney was as smart as one of our attorneys. She'd still have a losing case. Because your case is alleging that there was some sort of criminal RICO thing, which is why that people were talking about you. And they were actually just talking about you because multiple people independently thought that it was ridiculous, the things that you were saying. That's why people were talking about you, bro. Jay was talking about you because he was pissed off about you. Guy were talking about it, and I was talking about you because I thought your shit was clown shoes. I thought your story was ridiculous and made up. It was not a fucking RICO thing. It wasn't a criminal enterprise. It's not criminal to say this fucking guy, this comedian, this author, this writer, or this guy is friggin' lying. And even if my case had not been dismissed, all that would have happened was I would have turned to my lawyer and said, "Oh, my case wasn't dismissed. I'm in Colorado court. Okay, here's the countersuit. This guy contacted the New Jersey courts. This guy contacted people. This guy said this. This guy said this. And who would have had the better case for damages? You, for me saying that this guy who said all these things about being in contact with alien wasn't telling the truth, or you were actually contacting a lawyer in New Jersey saying to the New Jersey Bar Association that I was a bad guy and that telling people that I was a PDF file." Use your fucking head. And I don't say that because I'm trying to be mean to you. I'm trying to say that to you because, like, people say to people who are fucking up, when are you going to wake up? Stop being a prideful person and realize when you're going down and the elevator keeps on ratcheting down, Even if the guy that's telling you the elevator's going down and it's going down, you don't like the tone of my voice? You don't like the fact that the guy is telling you that all things are going bad? That's a stupid way to look at life. Get off of that fucking mentality. Just stop it. Stop losing. Okay? Stop losing. I'm not saying that to you to be mean. I'm not winning. The only thing that I'm winning is I'm not winning because you're losing. I'm not fighting with you. I'm not your enemy. I have no enemies. If you're my enemy, if you think of me as an enemy, that's you and your game. I'm not think of you as my enemy. I think of you as my brother who's got some sort of thing happening. That's all I think about you. To the degree that I think about you. And I don't say that to be dismissive. I say that because I don't try to meditate upon you because I don't want to send like negative vibes. And to the end, I'm not trying to get you to get me upset. I just try to be like whatever. I try to think about things that, bring me joy. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And when I think about you, I try and like, pray for, you know what I mean? Understanding the peace and liberation in the world and shit. You know what I mean? Because that's the shit I'm on. You know what I mean? Try it sometime. You know what I mean, homie? But whatever. It is what it is, bro. And in the meantime, I'll keep on watching David Wilcock videos and reading the book. You know what I mean? And traveling backwards through time because that's the kind of shit that I'm into. You know what I mean? You keep on doing whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? And I wish you the best. I really do. I honestly do. Keep on talking shit. Keep on talking shit. Keep on talking shit. Don't matter to me. I mean, keep on telling terrible shit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It'll be a counterclaim, but it's just what it is. In the meantime, it's just is what it is. But it is what it is. We don't want to be repetitive. So, one love, peace. I love you. I love you. I love you. If no one told you they love you today, somebody just did it. Somebody CW chanter. I told you twice now. So, Patreon, PayPal. Huh? Huh? Give me your money. Come on. Give me your money. Give me your money. Said 3 times. Law of 3. That's it. Hypnotize you like a Scandinavian. Peace. Love you. Be good.